It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Welcome back to the to the show that we're doing right now.
Following the local teams, breaking down the biggest games with in-depth analysis and team interviews.
There's going to be much higher expectations, sense of awareness of what we bring to the table.
Join the show by calling into 435-752-1069 or text 435-339-0321. It's the Full Court Press.
Throws, ends yes! Caught! Touchdown! They did it!
Welcome on into hour number 2, the 5 o'clock hour here on the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. Appreciate you being part of the program as well. Lively discussion on the Full Court Press text line last hour. Love to keep it going. Your questions, your comments, your observations, and even your predictions for things going on this weekend. 435-339-0321 to be a part of the program. If you want to give a prediction for Utah State, Colorado State, we could do that. We got Utah Jazz players involved in all-star festivities this weekend in Indianapolis. We'll go through what that schedule looks like when they'll be involved. We got Region 11, the last night of the regular season going on tonight. But all of that and a whole lot more. We didn't get to this last hour, Jason, but there's a big game tonight in the Mountain West Conference that this is really a battle for second place in the standings. It's San Diego State and New Mexico squaring off, and there's an injury that could play a big factor in this one too.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably the biggest matchup of the weekend. I mean, Utah State, obviously around here you're focused on the Utah State Colorado State game, but that's first versus sixth. Of course, if Colorado State wins, they jump into third. Of course, another factor in San Diego State, New Mexico playing is if Utah State does lose, that's a tie for first place suddenly. And both of those teams actually would, they have a tiebreaker of Utah State, so there's a chance the team that wins tonight has first place, albeit via tiebreaker, heading into next week. But you mentioned the injury, and that's Donovan Dent for New Mexico. Now he, talk about sprained ankle for Patrick Cartier. Last Tuesday was a horror show for ankles apparently, because on the last play of New Mexico's win over Nevada, which is a pretty big win for the Lobos, Dent went down with an injury. I didn't really get a good video of it. I never really went back and watched the specific play, although I don't know if there were any particularly great angles of it. But it was reported that it's an ankle sprain. I didn't check super close for updates today, mostly because we got most of the updates yesterday for Dent, that they'd done x-rays and that it was just a sprained ankle. So probably less likely that he plays just because there hasn't been as much time for him to heal. But maybe he does. But then again, when we talk about Colorado State not having a whole lot of depth behind Cartier, the Lobos have actually a lot of depth at guard.
Yeah.
So while Dent is a very good player, this isn't an insurmountable problem for the Lobos, especially with the talent. They got True Washington, who's probably one of the better freshman guards in the conference, aside from Mason Falslev, Dayton Thomas. So I guess there's a few good freshman guards.
Yeah.
But True Washington's certainly having a good season. He could step up. Now, if he has a big game, that would obviously really help them. And, of course, you got Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn.
San Diego State hosting the game tonight. It will be 8 o'clock on FS1.
What's all these late starts all of a sudden?
The Aztecs are favored by 6.5.
That's the line that I set yesterday for our pick 6. And there wasn't a line.
And there was no line. That's right. You're clairvoyant.
Do I have sources in Vegas? The answer is no. No, I don't.
See both teams 8-4 in conference play. New Mexico has been great at home. They've struggled on the road. San Diego State has been dynamic at home. It's tough for anybody to beat them. I may be just tuning in just to see how the referees call the game, because that seems to be a running story this season.
This may be the first instance in history of someone watching a game for the
Just
referees.
to see the referee.
You've just justified the ego of about 100 referees. We're like, see, people do watch the game for us. That's why I do the fancy dance when I call a block.
Just for them.
There you go.
Just for them.
For me, I'm going to be, of course, I'll be wrapping up a high school game as this one's really getting going because the high school game will probably get over on between 8:30 and 9. So I'll check in on the score, and if it's close-ish, I might watch it. But we'll see.
Yeah. So that's a big one tonight. Utah State, Colorado State, obviously another big one tomorrow. That's the first one on the day for the Mountain West. Fresno State at Boise State. That's 5:30 on CBS Sports Network. Boise State needs to win that game.
Yeah, they basically have to. And they were close against Fresno State. Granted, it was at Fresno State, that last one. I wouldn't see that happening again. I'd see the Broncos running away with it probably.
Wyoming, after losing to Utah State on Wednesday, they're on the road. They're at San Jose. Cowboys need to win that game.
We're just going to go. This will be our analysis. Cowboys need to win that game.
Yep.
San Jose needs to
for the
win that
sake
game,
of the
too.
conference, Wyoming should win that game.
We're just giving up on San Jose State now.
They're 2-10 in conference play.
They're back to
so,
being a
yes.
doormat. Not the doormat, because that's Air Force, apparently. Unless you're UNLV. But, yeah, for Wyoming, yeah, you'd expect them to win. Even though they've been a little worse on the road, that can end up making this game a little interesting. But they've been playing pretty solid lately, too, especially Brendan Wenzel, who's having a midseason renaissance.
Though they're probably likely frustrated after how the game ended against Utah State, they should have some confidence in how they at least handled the Aggies or went toe-to-toe with the Aggies for much of the game on Wednesday.
Yeah, they played well, but they just got beat by a team that came out better in that second half.
And then the final game of the night, another late game, 9:30 start. No national television, though.
Are they playing this game in Hawaii?
They're playing this game in Las Vegas. It's UNLV hosting Nevada. Another big Mountain West showdown, and for the sake of the conference, Nevada should win this game. For the health and the standings of the Mountain West, Nevada should win this game.
These teams are in like 5th and 7th in the conference, though.
Nevada is 6-5. UNLV is 7-4. So UNLV's got a better conference record, but Nevada has a stronger net.
That it's not for the sake of the conference, more for the sake of chance at 6 teams in the tournament.
Yes,
That's
which
where
is
you
for the
want
sake of the
UNLV to-
conference.
If you're a Utah State fan, you're rooting for UNLV. Yes, you are.
Nevada's not that close to overtaking USU in the standings.
So? Utah State has to play Colorado State, San Diego State, and New Mexico. You ain't taking no chances.
Yeah,
You're
it's-
rooting for UNLV.
It's fair.
And yeah, I know, an opponent you lost to loses, but an opponent you beat also wins. And at this point, that Nevada loss isn't going to kill you.
Right now, Nevada is 47 in the net. And UNLV, you have to scroll all the way down. They're 90.
So, unless you really want Nevada to climb into being a quad 1 loss, which again, nobody's killing Utah State for losing to Nevada. It's obviously not helping them, and it's not fun. But if you're talking standings and all that, you're rooting for UNLV.
Nevada is currently, they'd have a ways to go to get into the quad 1 territory. They'd have to move 17 spots.
Yeah,
That's not likely.
That's not happening this late in the season. You don't climb 17 spots unless you're in the 300s and you beat a top 25 team.
The other team that the Aggies would need to move a lot would be San Francisco.
They fallen again
They're at 65.
because they were at quad 1 at one point.
Right, but they're at 65. They need to get up into 50, the top 50, because that was a neutral site game. So moving 15 spots seems like a bit much.
Now, at this point, what you've got is what you get as far as net. Nobody's really going to be moving too far. There's a couple teams on the line, like Colorado State. They're on that line. That's one that can go up and down, depending how things go. But, again, if you're the Aggies, at this point, it's not so much about quad 1 and quad 2. I know we harp on that all the time, and we're going to keep doing that, even through the NCAA tournament. We were still talking about quad 1 and quad 2 games. But it's just focus on winning the conference and winning the conference tournament. Not so much because, winning the conference tournament, obviously gets you in automatically, but Just take care of the teams in front of you, and the quad 1s and 2s and 7s and 18s will take care of itself.
435-339-0321. Just one last thing about conference stuff before we shift to talk about the Utah Jazz. News today, we'd heard that there was a signal here from Oregon State and Washington State that they wanted to part ways with George Kliavkoff. Well, today it was a 2-line press release. Basically, we've mutually agreed we're going to part ways, and his last day is February 29th.
I'm surprised it didn't come out like now, Friday news dump. Granted, since it was already pretty much
Came
known,
out on a Friday, but earlier in the day.
Yeah, early on a Friday. Enough time for everyone to talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Including us. Usually they dump the news like in the middle of our show if they're doing that news dump. But yeah, it's not surprising. It's something to note. I know we mentioned on our show a couple days ago, but yeah, the Pac-2 is slowly dying, including its commissioner. Yes, and metaphorically, George is fine.
Healthy, health is fine, but they basically also announced news about the conference leadership will be revealed next week, which will be really interesting to know who it is. Do they have any relation or connection to the Mountain West? Because whomever that is, it's going to be really important to see how they shepherd these 2 years with Washington State and Oregon State and their kind of loose relationship. I won't say loose, but a warm relationship, actually, with the Mountain West, at least for football, and to see if that develops into anything more than that. And with media rights deals coming up to be renegotiated and the college sports landscape continuing to evolve, it's going to be really interesting to see who it is that they select as their next person in charge.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. I assume they're planning on actually hiring somebody as opposed to doing some kind of weird, I don't know if this would even work, if it was some kind of joint leadership between the two schools. It's such a weird and unique situation that feels like whatever they do is going to be new and unique.
Right, because whoever this is still going to have to manage the other 10 schools to some degree for the next 4 months with what they're doing for conference tournaments and championships and other sports. But this is all about taking care of the interests for Washington State and Oregon State.
You can just imagine the new Pac-12 commissioner going to the Final Four because, Arizona gets to the Final Four or something, cheering on a team that's leaving. You also get, the Big 12 commissioner there.
Thanks for representing our conference and bringing in lots of those units on your way out the door.
Yeah, basically. So I'm sure they'd be thrilled about that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's some other news of the Mountain West today. 435-339-0321 if you want to weigh in on any of those topics. Reminder, pregame coverage for Utah State at Colorado State, 2:30 on our sister station KVNU, 102.1 FM, 610 AM, and then tip-off at 3:30 in Fort Collins. Last night in Salt Lake City, it was the makeup game for the Utah Jazz and the Golden State Warriors, teams that squared off against each other earlier in the week on Monday, and the Jazz looked like they were competitive in the first quarter, and then things got away from them in the second and third, and then tried to make it interesting again in the fourth, rallied, and gave themselves a chance to win, but this team has clearly forgotten how to play defense.
Yeah, they have, and it was hard to watch just looking at the Warriors getting open three-pointers, and then they'd miss the three-pointers sometimes. They made 23 pointers in the game. It was only actually the fourth quarter where they finally started missing, which is where the Jazz made their comeback. But for most of the game, they'd be making a ton of three-pointers. If they missed, they grab the offensive rebound, and they just kick it back for another wide-open three-point attempt. And the Jazz are just out of sorts on defense. And even plays where they weren't giving up wide-open three-pointers, they're giving up easy layup attempts. And it's just bad. You have a game where you have a rookie score 33 points, And, Keyonte George tying the NBA rookie three-point record, making 9 in a game. So he gets 33. And then Colin Sexton has 35. How do you lose a game where you get that much scoring production out of two guys? Highly efficient scoring production out of those two guys.
And two other starters who had double-doubles.
Yeah, it's like, Collins had it's like 18 and 12 or something like
18 and 13.
18 and 13.
Markkinen at 20 and 14.
Yeah, so it's like, how? I know Markkinen's wasn't super efficient because I don't think he shot particularly well from the field. As far
6 of 23. Yeah, not great.
So not efficient, but still productive. And you had other guys who were highly efficient in scoring. And it's basically all the worst fears of the defense realized with, we realized this would be a team that had offensive talent and they could put it together, but we worried that they would never be able to play good defense, and they haven't. That's just the way it's been, and it's frustrating to see. Aside from the fact that the other realization I had is that I feel like NBA basketball isn't as fun to watch. Like, I don't know, maybe I was just overreacting to that this one game where you're just watching three-pointers over and over again. Because I'm watching Utah State, and I'm watching like a chess match between two teams. And they're battling inside. They do take a lot of three-pointers. But again, it feels like teams are playing inside out, and NBA teams are just jacking up three-pointers. It's like watching a rec league. You're like, a pickup game.
Yeah.
Where everyone's just shooting three-pointers.
No one wants to play hard. They just want to get to the three-point line and chuck it up.
Yeah, it's like those possessions where, and since everyone playing pickup is bad, there'll be that one possession where you get 5 offensive rebounds and you take 6 three-pointers. Like, that's what it felt like. It's just a three-point shooting contest. I don't know. And I feel like that game was more of an anomaly because I do usually enjoy watching the NBA. But that game just felt like maybe I kind of understand when people say basketball's ruined. But it was probably mostly because you had a Jazz team that didn't know how to play defense. Maybe if I watched teams that actually know how to play defense, I'd enjoy that a little bit more.
One thing that did stand out, obviously, is Keyonte George. Huge game for him. This is, as much as we may moan about some of the younger players on this team and are they ready or did they squander opportunities in the draft, this guy has been a steal, flat-out steal. Early in the season, kind of saw some flashes. Then they decide to feature him more because they can't figure out the point guard position, and he takes it upon himself to figure out how to be a point guard at the NBA level. Plays well. He's a revelation. Then he starts to struggle a bit. He gets sent to the bench, coming off the bench. He's struggling through parts of December and January, but then he's started to come alive again, and he's back into the starting lineup and making some big plays. And it's really fun to watch his growth and his potential in a Jazz uniform.
Yeah, and these are the flashes you want to see. This isn't going to be a guy who comes out every night and scores 18 to 20 points. He's not that good. Most guys his age aren't. But we're seeing these flashes of scoring, him being able to have these shooting nights, him being able to score. Again, he was taking a lot of threes, but then later he was taking it to the rack a little bit. And he also, I think he got, 6 assists in the game as well?
Yeah, he did.
So
and 3 steals.
Yeah, so and he was guarding Steph Curry, who actually didn't even have that particularly great of a game. Granted, Klay Thompson was doing most of the work.
Didn't have to.
So you like what you saw to Keyonte George. I talk about how I want to see breakout games for players, and Keontae's had some of those this year. This wasn't his first 30-point game of the season. It's his second. It's his new career high because he had 30 points in that other game that is his other 30-point game. So, yeah, you're loving what you're seeing out of Keyonte George and what he can eventually do in the future. I wouldn't say this is a guy you want as, like, your star player, but it's another potential piece that you can use going forward, especially if you can find that star player, which at this point is going to have to be a shooting guard or small forward.
Yeah, clearly somebody who can help on the perimeter. The Utah Jazz traded away any defensive presence they may have had.
And anybody they had at small forward.
Right, guarding those key positions. And Golden State exposed them. The Lakers exposed them. The Golden State Warriors exposed them on Monday at those positions. So that's can Taylor Hendricks develop to be that guy with his length to play like that, or is he going to be kind of a multi-purpose guy that's sometimes down low, sometimes he's on the wing? That's something that's still going to be interesting to watch as the season progresses. Because he played 16 minutes last night, but largely didn't have much of an impact on the game.
Yeah, he's not showing a whole lot of impact. He's looking young. He's making a lot of, he looks like he hasn't played a whole lot of NBA basketball, which, funnily enough, is true. And so he needs to be getting minutes to find out. Like, if it's going to work out, he's eventually going to show it more. Because Keyonte George struggled too. There's times that he looked bad. His shooting numbers were awful at the beginning of the year.
Oh yeah,
but he's figuring it out a little bit more. So Taylor Hendricks, he's either going to work through it or not. And at this point, you got to keep playing him because you got to find out whether you're due or not. So, for better or worse, I want to see those Taylor Hendricks minutes.
And we didn't see Bryce Sensabaugh at all.
Never
saw the floor.
At this point, I just don't think we are. They just don't think he's ready. So I was saying I was overreacting the other day, and I'm not saying this isn't true, but it may be an overreaction to say it this early. But yeah, I just don't think Bryce Sensabaugh is ever going to play for the Jazz.
I think if he does play, it's in those 20, 25-point blowout games.
Yeah,
it's determined in the third quarter.
It's the same way that that Sam Merrill played for the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, he was technically on the team, but not really.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sensabaugh, he's going to go through the G League, and eventually they're just going to cut him. And for better or worse, if you think that's good, if you, I know that a lot of people like Sensabaugh, but the Jazz just clearly aren't going to give him that chance.
435-339-0321. On the other side of this timeout, we've got a couple of Utah Jazz players involved in NBA All-Star festivities. Whether you decide to tune in to watch the All-Star game itself or not, don't blame you either way.
I need a poll here. Everyone say whether or not you're going to watch any All-Star festivities at all.
And if you are, at least we'll tell you the how what's on the schedule and who's involved. Because there's a couple different Jazz players involved this weekend. But let us know on the Full Court Press text line if you plan to tune in to any part of the NBA All-Star festivities. 435-339-0321 here on the Full Court Press.
Imagine your wedding day. Elegant, simple, yet stunning, stress-free. It's your day. It's all about you. Whether you're looking for small and simple or have a grander idea, the Riverwoods Conference Center will accommodate your every need. Choose the inside ballroom elegance or outside along the natural decor of the beautiful Logan River. A Riverwoods event planner will work personally with you to make sure your event is exactly how you've envisioned it. The Riverwoods Conference Center, where your happily ever after begins. Google Riverwoods Conference Center or call 750-5151.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. President's Day sale is our biggest sale of the year. We've been planning this one for months, Cache Valley. This week determines which end of the valley will sleep better. Will it be my store, the north, or will it be Travis's store in the south? Since I'm the one talking, come on, North, let's do this. The truckloads are here. Purple, Sealy, and Tempur-Pedic are in stock. The President's Day sale and bragging rights. There's never a better time to buy better sleep than right now at My Mattress at the President's Day sale.
Are you getting overwhelmed by decisions regarding Social Security? Adams Wealth Advisors is here to help you secure your financial future by helping you navigate the complexities of the Social Security system. The team of experts at Adams Wealth Advisors is ready to guide you through the process and tailor a custom financial plan that fits your goals and aspirations. With Adams Wealth Advisors, it's not just about managing your wealth, it's about empowering your future. Call 752-1702 or search online for Adams Wealth Advisors to schedule an appointment with a Social Security expert today.
With fresh snow comes fresh deals at Murdoch GMC Chevrolet Cadillac. Make some fresh tracks to our winter sales event. In this season, our Murdoch vehicles are perfect for making fresh tracks to winter fun. Right now, receive up to $8,000 off a new 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family. At Murdoch Chevrolet GMC Cadillac in Logan or online at murdochchevroletlogan.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Call 866-628-3065 or see dealer for complete details. Offer expires 2/29/24.
Hello, Cache Valley. This is Tom Hale at Blue Sky Restoration, formerly ARS. Remember, got a mess? Call ARS. We want to let you know that here at Blue Sky, we still have the same great staff, we provide the same excellent service, and are ready to help you in your time of need with water mitigation, mold remediation, or a fire. From Blue Sky Restoration, thank you for trusting our staff and myself for over 35 years with your disaster needs, and we will continue to be here for you.
Hello, I'm Brian Webster, Vice President and Relationship Manager at Cache Valley Bank. As an experienced banker with deep roots in Cache Valley, I thrive on building meaningful relationships, supporting my customers, and providing personal attention to everyone I work with. I'd love to have the opportunity to provide you with that same level of service. Stop by our Logan Mall branch or give me a call and let me show you what opening an account with us can do for you. I look forward to meeting you. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
It's the middle of winter, but it'll be RV season soon. Before you hit the open road, make sure your home on wheels is ready to roll. The best place to get your RV or trailer in peak condition is Bull Moose RV in Logan. They'll make sure your RV is safe and ready for the trip. Roof showing signs of wear? Need solar for more off-grid excursions? Or are you looking for a wall heater to keep your family cozy on chilly desert nights? They've got you covered. Bull Moose RV, the largest RV service shop in Cache Valley. Online at bullmooserv.com.
Want to set yourself apart from the competition? The Leadership MBA at Utah State University will help you lead companies and drive change in your organization. You can attend in person in Logan on Thursday evenings or take an interactive online class. Complete your MBA in as little as a year. Apply before March 1st to be considered for summer semester. Contact the MBA office for a waiver of the $55 application fee. Learn more at utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com.
It's the Full Court Press with Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker.
Crystal Vision is the 3-time gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Stop in today with your prescription and let Crystal Vision fit your glasses to you. It's Crystal Vision on 14th North in Logan. So NBA All-Star Weekend festivities begin tonight, actually. The Basketball Hall of Fame news conference was earlier this afternoon. The Ruffles NBA All-Star Celebrity Game on ESPN happening now.
Do they have ridges?
I could care the least about the All-Star Celebrity Game. Then at 7 o'clock, it's the Panini Rising Stars. That'll be on TNT. This might be worth tuning into because there's 2 Jazz players that are participating, going to be involved.
You getting paid to say the sponsors of these games?
No, that's the name.
No, it isn't.
It's the Panini Rising Stars.
No, it isn't. It's the Rising Stars game. Or the rookie-sophomore game.
There you go. That's more appropriate. So there's, they have a couple of different teams that they've created here. So there's 4 different teams.
For the Rising Stars game?
Yes. So there's 2 preliminary games and there's a championship game. So you've got Keyonte George. He's on Team Tamika.
Who the...
And
am I supposed to know who that is?
Tamika, is that former WNBA player?
I imagine it's the coach or I don't know. Is it a coach? Is it like a celebrity?
Well, so there's Team Pau, like Pau Gasol.
Oh, I thought you were saying Pau, like P-O-W. Like
Team Jalen, which I'm not sure which Jalen that is.
Jalen Rose?
And there's Team Detlef, would be Detlef Schrempf. Probably Jalen Rose because it's Indiana. So Tamika Cutchings? I don't know. Anyway, Keyonte George is on Team Tamika with Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duran, Keegan Murray, Dyson Daniels, Scoot Henderson, and Vince Williams Jr. So those are his teammates.
He's going to get buried behind a bunch of ball hogs.
It'll be a little bit hard to stand out. And Walker Kessler, he's also participating. He's on Team Jalen with Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Benedict Mathurin, Shaden Sharp, Derek Lively II, Jordan Hawkins, and Jeremy Sochan.
Did you just draft all the tall guys? I mean, there's a couple of guards in there.
Yeah, that is a big lineup.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Team Detlef has a lot of guys on the WNBA, I guess. But
bunch of WNBA players?
Yes, there are some. Well, there's guys that don't have pictures with them. I don't know who they are. And so, I don't know. Anyway, that's going on. Team Pau has Victor Wembanyama. certainly the big player to watch. But those are taking place. Those games are taking place today.
Yeah.
The Rising Stars final is going to be at 8.
Yeah. To be honest, so like the rookie sophomore game, the Rising Stars, it's basically the All-Star game, but for young players. It's a chance for them to try and score 40 points in an All-Star game and make a headline.
Try to make a headline. Get on a highlight reel.
Yeah. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
They and to be honest, they kind of care about doing that. The All-Stars just want to go out there and not hurt themselves and just take a bunch of shots to get the game over with.
Let's see. So the other, the Rising Stars, again, that's 7 o'clock on TNT tonight. Tomorrow, skipping through a few things. No, Adam Silver will be having a press conference tomorrow at about 5. You can see that on NBA TV. The only thing that may be worth noting there is if he talks about potential expansion, because he's been talking about it this week.
Yeah, he has been asked. He got asked about it last year. He'll probably get asked about it again. We'll see. Maybe he'll get asked about that thing they did the other day with the. You see where they're using like AI to like make the game look like it's a movie or something like that.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
It's floating around on social media. It's pretty dumb. There's a bunch of people who are like replying to it like, please just fix NBA League Pass. They're trying to do all these fancy AI things with broadcasts. But yeah, again, let us know if you plan on watching any of these. If you want to tune into the Rising Stars thing to watch Keyonte George or watch Walker Kessler not get past 2 the entire time.
Keyonte might do something.
Keyonte will put
he's
up
among the better rookies this year for sure.
Keyonte will put up a bunch of threes.
Yeah.
Walker Kessler won't get past 2. He'll grab a few offensive rebounds, throw down a dunk. He'll get an alley-oop or 2. But
Great to see if he can get a block.
But, yeah, well, he might not play defense because you don't play defense in these games.
They're young enough. Maybe they don't know those rules yet.
Yeah, maybe.
So tomorrow, starting at 6, that's the State Farm All-Star Saturday Night on TNT.
Are you seriously getting paid?
It starts with the Kia Skills Challenge.
Stop it!
Then the Starry 3-point contest. And that's where Lauri Markkanen, the last Utah Jazz player, will be involved in All-Star festivities for the weekend. Lauri Markkanen, in the first time, participating in the 3-point shootout.
Show Giannis talk about maybe someday participating in a 3-point contest.
Oh, gosh.
I think I'd have about as much of a chance as Giannis does. But this is the one that I'd probably be most likely to watch is the 3-point contest.
Yeah, I just want to see how Lowry's going to do.
Yeah, and it could be kind of fun to watch 3-point contests. I know I was just whining about watching NBA teams shooting threes to the game, but that's in an actual game. It's fun watching a little 3-point competition.
Yeah, and then besides the standard 3-point shootout, then they're going to have a special 3-point shootout. It's called Stephen versus Sabrina. Steph Curry versus Sabrina Ionescu. There's no sponsor in front of that, so I just Stephen versus Sabrina 3-point challenge. Sorry, Jason. But then it ends with the AT&T slam dunk.
Gosh, dang it.
I had to fit it in there.
Despite the fact that Sabrina is probably my favorite WNBA player, I will not be watching that section of the 3-point contest. Unless I forget where the remote is and don't feel like getting up.
Since I'm watching the 3-point shootout with Lowry, I might stick around just to watch that other.
If Lowry wins it and I'm
exhibition.
in a good mood, then maybe.
Yeah. Then on Sunday, it's the G League Up Next game presented by AT&T on NBA TV. But then the All-Star game is going to be at 6 o'clock on TNT. East versus West.
The least enticing part of All-Star Weekend, despite it being the headlining event.
It's supposed to be the crown jewel of all the events, and it's definitely not.
But really, you basically have the Rising Stars Challenge, which is there for tanking teams to feel happy about their young players. And then you have the 3-point contest, which is still pretty solid. You have the dunk contest, which features some pretty decent dunkers, but nobody knows who the heck they are beside those players' mothers and a couple of fans on whatever teams they play on. Or their G League coach in some cases.
Right, yes.
Because that's where we're at.
Couple of texts coming through, opinions about the All-Star Weekend in the NBA. 8968, no, I won't.
Yeah, he's saying he
tuning
won't
in.
watch.
2305, if, see, now No, I will find something else. Maybe clean up the garage. No interest.
I'll see him going through the several stages of madness, trying to spell LeBron.
If a Jazz player was in it, but don't want to see Landon. LeBron.
This is an epic battle, a battle more interesting than the entire All-Star game. 2305 versus autocorrect.
Voice to text, yes. 9952, to the person that won the USU hockey tickets, make sure you're nice to the refs. They got you the tickets.
Oh, really? It was the refs?
Because the person who originally was designated is actually going to be a ref at the game, so couldn't use them because we'll be there in another capacity.
He's already got a ticket.
Yeah. But then added, also, USU is hosting the ACHA West Regionals next weekend. Check their website for game times.
Yeah, so this is why it won't be the last Utah State game played at Eccles Ice Arena, because they will be in regionals, and that is hosted here in Logan. But it is the regular season
last
finale.
game of the regular season.
Yeah.
Senior night.
Yeah, senior night as well. So
and against a big-time rival, Weber State.
Yeah, good one. Softball got a win over Weber State earlier today, so it's hockey's turn.
Very solid. There you go. Before we turn the page on the NBA, in our notes, in our show notes, Jason, you kind of indicated that maybe the Jazz should be looking for a specific type of player in the offseason.
Well, there's rumors that are gaining a little bit of momentum that the Hawks may not be all that interested in hanging on to Trae Young as a building block. So he may get traded. And we've been talking about this whole war chest of draft picks and how, either you go try and use that to actually draft somebody, get lucky with the mid-round draft pick, or even bottom out, try and use your own pick to draft a star, or you trade for one. Is Trae Young the kind of star, like, say you add him, like, let's say maybe you trade Keyonte George. I don't know exactly how this would be made out. I haven't put too much thought into any kind of package, but a ton of picks, couple of young players, and you throw basically you have, like, let's say Trae Young, Lowry, Walker, Kessler. Those are the three that will be in that trio. Maybe somebody else, depending on how that would work out. Like, does that work? Do you like that?
No.
Feelings on Trae Young are mixed.
They are mixed.
This is a guy who can average 30 and 10. He's a great playmaker at guard. He, is obviously a really good shooter, but we're also in a league that isn't really run by point guards unless your name is Steph Curry. And last I checked, Trae Young is not Steph Curry.
No, and he desperately wants to be Steph Curry.
He was supposed to be the next Steph Curry. That's what he's almost billed at in college.
Yes.
But he's basically diet Steph Curry.
Yeah. Look, he's had some moments in the NBA. I won't deny that. But I don't believe he makes his team better. And if I'm the Jazz, I want to go get somebody who's going to make my team better. I think he could score. I think he can be flashy at times. But if you have a developing Keyonte George and some other pieces at that guard position, I don't know that you need to give that up to get Trae Young. He's not necessarily going to be, in my mind, the player that really moves the needle into contention for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, I can see that, and I'd probably lean toward that as well, but it's still somewhat enticing that you get a guy who could help unlock more of Walker Kessler and more of Lowry Markkanen. I think he really could do that. Because I think he would make the Jazz better in that way. Like, I think he'd make the offense better and everyone better around him on offense. Especially if he's able to buy into the coaching. Because I think, Jazz have, a good offensive system if they have the right personnel for it. But where I would worry about him, like, not actually making the team better is he is such a defensive liability.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Yeah, I just think he's too small, too. I think you need to get a little bit more size at that position in today's NBA.
And you need to add, a dominant, one or two dominant wing defenders, which the Jazz still wouldn't have in that potential lineup. Where you're having Young, Markkanen, and Kessler, you're still like two major pieces away. Not like major superstars, but two
significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great borderline max contract players that you feel like you have to be able to bring in.
Let us know. Would you be down with that for the Utah Jazz going after Trae Young in the offseason?
Or you can be like me and still hold out hope on Luka Doncic.
Yeah. The jury's still out on him.
Oh, you 1,000% do it for Luka.
But if you could get Luka, yeah.
Like, whether or not he leaves Dallas, that's a question for later.
Yeah. But you consider his age, there's still a lot of years in the NBA for that guy.
Yeah. There's still a lot of years for Trae Young, too. He's not that old.
Yeah, no, he's not. 435-339-0321 if you want to weigh in. Next year in the Full Court Press, what's going on tonight in Region 11 basketball? Last night of the regular season for boys basketball. We'll discuss that on the other side of this timeout. And wrestling for girls is in the books. Boys wrestling at State going on today and tomorrow. We'll reveal teams from Region 11, how they did, next on the Full Court Press.
Hey, did you drop the ball on Valentine's Day? If so, I can help you make up for it. This is Jarek from Jarek's Fine Jewelry. No matter where you're at in your relationship, we have something she'll love. Stop in and we'll help you pick her out a thoughtful yet inexpensive necklace, pair of earrings, bracelet, watch, or even if you're ready for the next step, with our selection of over 3,000 designs, we'll find her the perfect engagement ring. Even after Valentine's Day, it's all about the romance. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
Are you ready to start a beautiful new career? New Horizons Beauty College is now enrolling new students. Take a step towards a new life and new career in the beauty industry by enrolling today. Their talented and experienced instructors are there every step of the way to help you learn the essential skills needed to become a successful provider in the beauty industry. Contact them today and take a beautiful step in the right direction. Call 435-753-9779 or visit newhorizonsbeautycollege.com. New Horizons Beauty College, 550 North Main Street, Suite 115 in Logan.
Hi Cache Valley, it's Jay from Daryl's Appliance. Now at Daryl's we have the perfect laundry pair for you. Come in and get our best-selling Speed Queen washers and dryers and get a $200 mail-in rebate. Hurry though, this offer can't last long. Don't forget we have a box of chocolates for you and your honey for Valentine's Day with the purchase. Speed Queen Laundry at Daryl's, your appliance experts, west on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
Daryl's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
No reason to wheeze and sneeze while around dogs and cats. The Allergy Clinic has extremely aggressive treatments for dog and cat allergies. Get the help you need and stop avoiding friends and relatives' homes because of their pets. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette offer Cache Valley a full-time allergy clinic to test and address your allergy concerns. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted. The Cache Valley Allergy Clinic with 2 locations, Three Peaks Medical Plaza, North Logan, and Providence, 753-7880, or search for the Allergy Clinic online.
Hey business owners, are you frustrated with your workers' comp rates? This is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance. As an independent auto owners agency, we work with multiple carriers and will give you options. Our experienced agents are ready to answer your questions and help you navigate these options. Let us help you find the workers' comp policy that's right for your business. Call us today, 435-752-0101.
Don't miss Al's Sporting Goods store-wide President's Day sale. Keep your hands warm with gloves up to 70% off from Dakine, Scott, and Outdoor Research. Al's Sporting Goods has hundreds of beanies, only $4.99. Select winter boots and slippers from Columbia, Sorel, and Teva up to 50% off. Style and warmth for mom, dad, and the kids. Don't miss out on the winter hard goods sale. You save up to 50% off. Score deals like the Dalbello Veloci ski boot for only $129.99 and Oakley Target Line ski goggles for only $49.99. It's Al's Sporting Goods President's Day sale. Online at als.com. Every sport, every season.
The Cache Valley Media Group Home and Garden Show presented by Anderson Seed and Garden is March 22nd and 23rd. As a business owner, you can visit with, invite, and explain to thousands of potential customers how your business can help. How else are you going to come in contact with several thousand people in only 2 days? The Cache Valley Media Group Home and Garden Show at the Eccles Ison Events Center. Google Cache Valley Home and Garden Show or call 752-1390 for details.
The Aggies, Jazz, high schools, even the Pee Wees T-ball team. It's the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Jason Walker. It's the last night of the regular season for Region 11 boys basketball. And quick rundown of who's playing where and how you can follow along. Jason, you're going to be calling one of these games tonight. Logan with their last game hosting. Well, we'll see if they host another one in the tournament. I'm sure they're probably in a position they'll host a game. And
I would be floored if they didn't host a game. They'd have to fall so far. Question is whether or not they're going to get a bye. Which
right.
Even then, that's still they've been the 3 seed in the RPI for a while. They have lost like 3 out of their last 5 games, which may drop them to like 4th and 5th. But that's still getting a bye.
Yeah, they should still be in that territory. So they probably won't play in the first round. We'll see them in the second round, tail end of next week. But they're hosting Ridgeline tonight, and Ridgeline has the region championship all wrapped up.
Yeah, so there's no implications for standings at all. Logan can't fall below second, and Ridgeline's already claimed the region title. So not much playing for in the standings, but both teams looking to maybe try and raise their RPI as much as possible, and obviously not maybe dip 1 or 2 spots in the RPI. Granted, I don't think either are really at risk of falling out of bye territory. Logan might be. Again, they haven't updated the RPI since the end of last week, but even then, Logan hadn't really fallen far, if any. So really, it's just about getting a win, proving that you can win these kind of games, because these are the kind of games you're going to have to win in the state tournament. Games against really tough teams. Both of these teams have legit title hopes. They're teams at the top of the standings, top of the RPI. Can they win these kind of games? Logan, they've been struggling a little bit the last few games. They need to rebuild that confidence, especially in their offense. And for Ridgeline, well, they're on a roll. They're at like 7 straight wins. So for them, it's just keeping that status quo, keeping hungry by not dropping this game. But if you are going to drop a game in the next few weeks, this is the one Ridgeline would probably pick.
So that game, multiple places to follow along. It will be on KVNU, 102.1 FM, 610 AM. You can also hear it on 104.5 The Ranch. That's the home of the Ridgeline Riverhawks. And you can watch it on CashValleyDaily.com, video streaming there. Game that'll be here on The Fan later this evening, Skyview hosting Mountain Crest. Now, both of these teams in need of a win. Try to improve their standings, try to improve their RPI. The Skyview Bobcats kind of found a way to win a couple of games in region after struggling earlier on. Mountain Crest looked good earlier than they have struggled more as of late. So could be interesting to see what happens tonight in Smithfield.
Yeah, Mountain Crest, a team that got a little bruised by the toughness of the Region 11 schedule. They weren't completely chewed up and spat out by it because they did get some good wins. But, they need some positive momentum heading into the tournament because they're a good team, underrated in my opinion. But, get yourself a win. Obviously, Skyview is not the toughest of the tough opponents, but get yourself some positive momentum any way you can.
So that'll be here on The Fan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM, home of the Skyview Bobcats. It'll also be on 107.7 KLZX, home of the Mountain Crest Mustangs, and video streaming on CashValleyDaily.com with Hurricane John Newbold on the call. And then last but certainly not least, it's going to be Bear River at Green Canyon tonight. And these are two teams that are right in the middle there of the standings and trying to improve where they're at in the RPI. This is the last chance to give themselves a little bit of a better shot. Bear River has proved to be tough at home, but has struggled a little bit on the road. Green Canyon kind of lost their way earlier in the season with offense, but have seemed to rediscovered something offensively in their last couple of games.
Yeah, Green Canyon looking like they were getting cut clean in half by the buzzsaw of Region 11, but they've turned things around pretty much completely. Bear River, it's been a lot more up and down, and as you said, it's kind of been tied to whether or not they're playing at home or not. So, we'll see how things go. But Green Canyon, if they get a win here, it's like they're going to be looking in pretty dang good shape heading into the state tournament. They won't have a great region record, but if they win, they'd have an 18-5 overall record, which they'll be just as dangerous as anyone.
Still very solid. So, a couple different ways to follow this game. For Green Canyon, if you're a fan of the Wolves, you can tune in on 100.9 Light FM. Watch the video stream of that game on CashValleyDaily.com. If you're a fan of the Bears, tune in to 104.9 in Box Elder County, and there's a separate video stream of that game to follow Bear River. And we're actually calling on our Mountain Crest crew to go call that game. Our Bear River crew has some conflicts tonight, but we want to make sure we still get that game covered. So Jake Ellis and John Olson doing us a solid and sliding in to take care of the Bear River broadcast tonight in North Logan. So a lot of different ways to follow these games. If ran through all that and you missed it, not sure how to follow along, you can always go to Cache Valley Daily, find all the games, links and details on CacheValleyDaily.com. Going to take a time out. When we come back, wrestling results for girls in the 4A state wrestling tournament concluded, and Mountain Crest and Bear River, both the solid performances. How did they do? Anybody else from the region perform well? We'll reveal that next on the Full Court Press.
It's our President's Day sale at the Sportsman on Main Street. Don't miss this sale. All winter outerwear for men and women is 40 to 60% off. All clothing has been marked down. Skis, boots, and bindings are up to 50% off. Ski poles and ski goggles are half price. Insulated shoes and boots are half price. There is still lots of winter left, so get your new gear at the Sportsman and get out in the snow. It's our President's Day sale, up to 60% off, going on now, only at the Sportsman on Main Street in downtown Logan.
Do you have a fireplace or stove that isn't working right? Don't wait until winter to get it fixed. Get ahead of the game and get your fireplace or stove serviced now by the best of Northern Utah winter, Advanced Fireplace and Stove. They service everything from Quadra-Fire pellet stoves to heat and glow fireplaces. Get a 20% discount on your next service and labor when you mention this ad. Call 752-7272 or go to advancedfireplaceandstove.com. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, where comfort is their business.
Nearly 21 years ago, Cafe Sabor opened their doors in historic Logan train station. With the help of hundreds of amazing employees and patronage of thousands of wonderful customers, Cafe Sabor is proud to have been voted 3 years in a row Cache Valley's favorite Mexican restaurant in the Best of Northern Utah contest. Follow Cafe Sabor on social media for giveaways and promotions. Search Cafe Sabor for a restaurant near you. Thank you, Cache Valley, from your friends at Cafe Sabor.
Aegis Home Health and Hospice is your premier healthcare provider. When your loved one needs care, at home, wherever home is, allow Aegis Home Health and Hospice to help. I'm Josh Fenton, part of the Aegis team, where we customize healthcare for optimal results. Our award-winning staff brings character, experience, and trust. Contact us today and see why we were voted Best of Northern Utah. Call 435-723-9000 or visit our website at myaegis.com.
Beezer Lock and Key specializes in securing your world with their expertise in locks, keys, and hardware. Every aspect of their services is meticulously tailored to ensure your safety. They offer a vast selection of hardware brands and access control options, along with custom master key systems. With Beezer Lock and Key, you have control of your facility's access 24/7. For 28 years, Beezer has provided top-notch security solutions that stand unmatched in the industry. Visit 4th North, 1st West in Logan, or go to beezerlock.com to discover more.
They never could play it, but they sure can talk about it. Eric Frandsen and Jason Walker on the Full Court Press.
Welcome back to the Full Court Press. The 4A Girls Wrestling Tournament concluding, and once again another great showing out of Region 11. Now, girls wrestling has been a sponsored sport for 4 years, and each year the Mountain Crest girls wrestling team has won the 4A title, and they did it again this year. Great job. They won with a team total of 266 points. Bear River coming in second with a team total of 234. But they weren't the only Region 11 team to do well. Ridgeline, they came in seventh, but a couple of individual winners at their different weight classes. Adeline Baxter, she was in second from Mountain Crest. Hannah Sanders from Mountain Crest was third in the 100-pound weight class. At 105, it was Amelia Choate from Mountain Crest coming in third. At the 110, it was Keegan Grange from Ridgeline coming in second, and Skylyn Thompson from Bear River in third. In the 120 weight class, it was Rachel Epplinig, from Bear River winning in that weight class. Addison Hills from Green Canyon came in second. 125 weight class, Janessa Esquivel from Bear River was third. At the 135 weight class, it was Madeline Wolstenholm from Mountain Crest who was third. In the 140 weight class, Taya Crookston from Ridgeline, and coming in third place there. At the 170 weight class, Eve Alsop from Bear River winning the state title. It was Gracie Howard from Mountain Crest who came in third. And in the 190 weight class, Brooke Keller from Mountain Crest came in as the state champion, with Riley Smith from Bear River second and Sydney Nielsen from Bear River finishing third. The boys wrestling tournament going on today and tomorrow. So best of luck to them and representatives from Region 11 competing. But once again, congratulations to all the Region 11 athletes who participated in the girls wrestling state tournament the last few days. And I believe that was was it not Utah Valley where that took place? I'm not exactly sure, but it's somewhere down the Wasatch Front. But anyways, congratulations all the same to those who competed and walked away with some hardware. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you back again next week. Have a great weekend.